Hi, everybody. With this video today, what I was wanting to do is, I know I've talked about what it takes to become mortgage ready and what money you need in order to afford a home. But I decided, instead of just taking my word for it, I have Eddie Gamez here as a mortgage broker who you can get straight from the source. And so, just to give the disclaimers before he starts, this is for a $300,000 house. And of course, the obvious disclaimer is it will vary depending on what you qualify for. So some of these details might be different if you do an application. But I just wanted to have a visual for you so that way you can see like what does it look like when it comes to the cash to close needed for a home. So if you want to take it away.
Yeah. So conventional loan, like Caleb said, minimum that you put down on a $300,000 house or any price house with a conventional loan for a first-time home buyer is going to be 3%. Okay. But to address the fees first that are associated with the loan, you have fees that are associated with the loan and you have prepaids. Fees are things that the lender charges, third-party fees like appraisal, credit report, tax services, all that sort of thing. And then there's title fees. So the title company writes up insurance policies for the lender and for the owner in case there's any sort of encumbrances in the future on the house, and they handle escrow services. And then lastly, there's fees that the county will charge. All those together combined for a $300,000 house in Travis County, you could expect about $6,000. Then there's prepaids. When you close on a house, when you buy a house, you will pay for 1 year of homeowners insurance up front. You'll also pay for daily interest from the day that you close to the first day of the next month, because your first payment will be the month after the 2 months after you close. So if you closed in October, your first payment would be in December, which is why that daily interest is collected. And then there is money for your escrow account. Typically, it's going to be about 3 months taxes and 3 months homeowners insurance. So that is about $4,000. So that comes out to about $10,000 total, prepaids and fees. You add that to the 3% down, that's $19,000. So if you were just paying for everything in one lump sum, everything out of pocket on your own, you could expect to pay $19,000.
Right. And I know going from the jump like that, you think, nope, very few people have that kind of money just on them. And you'd be correct. But that's why you see the second half of the board here. There is good news, and it doesn't just end here at 19,000. So I did want to give that quick little update. We have now been through the worst of it. Now here comes all the good news that you don't get told about.
Yeah, so of this, the money that you have to have up front, there's two main things. There's about 1% earnest money deposit, and that can go up or down by about $100 depending on your option money. That's something that Caleb would negotiate for you. And then there's about $700 for an appraisal. So about $3,700, you just have to have that ready to go when you go shopping for a house. That is taken away from that cash to close, that 19,000 that we talked about earlier. This leaves your remaining cash to close at about $15,300. From there, because we're in a buyer's market, um, pretty much all deals that I'm seeing have the seller paying for the title policy. So the title policy is one of the services that the title company provides that is in the fees. And for a $300,000 house, that could be about $1,800. So we moved that number down of your cash to close to $13,500. So now, with just kind of the basics, you could expect to take to closing about $13,500. But because we're in a market right now where there's so much inventory available and houses are sitting on the market for so long, many sellers are motivated, and this motivation will, you know, make it more likely for them to help provide seller contributions to pay for part of the buyer's closing costs. In this example, I mean, a very realistic number would be $5,000. So if the seller is paying $5,000 of the buyer's closing costs, that takes that number from $13,500 down to $8,500.
Yeah. And I just do want to say as well, as you say, 5,000, that is very standard. And in case y'all haven't seen the news lately, I think in Austin now it's like there's double the amount of sellers as there are buyers. So 5,000, very realistic, because a lot of sellers, especially depending on how long the house has been on the market or just what the seller's motivations are, they might be very willing to agree to that, or potentially even more. In fact, I don't think I've had a client yet where we haven't at least gotten some concessions for them. So this is not like the contributions or concessions, as it says in my paperwork, this is a very real thing that happens. This is not just us trying to do some crazy hypothetical that never happens. So, as you were,
Yeah. So you could realistically expect to spend $8,500 out of pocket. Say you don't have $8,500 and we have to work on, or we get to work on down payment assistance program for you. Down payment assistance programs are available to a wide variety of people and there's a lot of different types. But for a conventional loan, we're able to get a down payment assistance that would take care of 2% of the purchase price. So 2% of a $300,000 house, that's $6,000. So you, the buyer, are only putting 1% down, and your cash to close is at $2,500.
so as you see, we literally went from almost $20,000 down to 2,500. Now, obviously, not trying to pretend any of this is a small amount of money, because obviously nothing with houses is cheap at all. But it's just showing that a lot of times when people are giving you those cynical views, they aren't including, they give you this half. They don't tell you about this half. And of course, it doesn't include other things. There's inspections and everything else. But for the most part, it's very affordable. It's a lot more affordable than people make it seem. That's why I'm always going to encourage you. Please just fill out the application, see what you qualify for, because you might be in a situation where you could get it down to 2,500. You might get it wiped out completely. I have seen the whole gauntlet where people have gotten it reduced quite a bit. I've even seen people walk away getting a check from title. It is possible in Austin, even though as crazy as what even 5 years ago that would be to say.
Yep.
So I just want to get that across, and just show like home ownership is not the impossible task people say that it is. So thank y'all all so much, and I will see y'all in the next one.